I did my degree at the University of Adelaide. I got my honours degree in the genetics department, and I then did my PhD at the University of Sydney, and I moved to the UK, to Cambridge, did my first postdoc there, and then had various research positions, first off in Germany at the Max Planck Institute for Immunobiology in Freiburg, and then moved back to the UK to positions at the Medical Research Council in Harwell, which is just outside Oxford, and then University of Sheffield, and finally University of Leeds, before I came back here. My specific interest is in the genetics of disease. It's fairly broad. Probably most of the work I've done in the last 5 or so years has probably been mainly muscle disease, whether that be skeletal muscle disease or heart disease, so heart muscle. One of my interests is in generating models of genetic disease process. So in other words, so that we can use systems to ascertain what are the underlying genetic causes of disease, and also use those models to actually test new therapies and hopefully, you know, have an impact on health through those model systems. It's a long process. It probably takes about 15 years from developing one of those models to actually sort of seeing a real outcome on health from them. I think the first thing is it was new, and so it was a chance to be in something from the beginning and have a real input into both the culture of the Institute and the actual physically the infrastructure of the Institute and what the Institute actually does. But I think it was also about the fact that it was new, but it was also something that, from what I saw, I thought was going to be a good thing for South Australia, and something that was likely to have a major impact on improving health, you know, in both Australians and worldwide, and would be good for South Australia as well in terms of bringing jobs, bringing funding and bringing scientists back from overseas. So certainly, and probably there's always an attraction to coming back to South Australia. So. The first couple of years are going to be very interesting because they're going to be very different. The first year, we're waiting to move into the new building on North Terrace. I think what I would hope to achieve about 3 years down the line is we'd have set up relatively good infrastructure at the Institute. And what I mean by that is all of the services that you need to support the science that's going on. So what you need to actually enable that science to be done, and good research outputs to be achieved. So there's the physical infrastructure that the scientists use on a day-to-day basis. Good infrastructure and services helps attract scientists back. Good support for what the scientists are doing, what the research community are doing, helps drive the research. And I think in the first few years, they'd be my main aims.